I've had the S&B cold air intake in my truck now for almost a year and about 8,000 miles or so. As you can see, it's not clean anymore and we need to clean it. So let's take a look at what we need to do to get that done. These are the tools I'm going to use to remove it. Just a flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, and then I'll use a soft detailing brush for the cleaning. There's 5 Phillips head screws that hold the plexiglass cover on. Once we get those off, we'll take the air filter out. I'll put a link in the description below for the S&B cold air intake, for the cleaning kit I'm going to use, and anything else that I use in the video. Check the description below. So now we're just going to take out the air intake. We're just going to release this hose clamp that's around the filter at the bottom of the flange here. And I'm just using a flathead screwdriver for that. Or you can use a small ratchet attachment if that's easier. You can see the inside of the air intake box is still pretty clean. I don't see any debris in there, so we're not going to do anything really to clean that out. So the first thing we want to do is use the detailing brush to just remove any large particles, leaves, dust. And you're just going to apply a minimum amount of pressure here. You don't want to damage the filter at all when you're doing this. And then this is the kit that I got from S&B to basically recharge the filter here. So you have the air filter cleaner and the oil that you'll put back on it once it's done. So you just want to liberally coat the filter, just set it up on the flange somewhere, and liberally coat the filter through all the nooks and crannies here, all throughout with the cleaner. To me, it seemed like the kit that came from S&B had enough product in there to clean the filter at least 3 or 4 times. Then, as we see on the instructions on the back of the bottle, we are going to let that sit for about 10 minutes before we rinse it out. I'm just going to rinse this out with some gentle pressure from my hose here. I am using a sprayer attachment, but I have it set on one of the lowest settings. So we're just going to gently wash out the soap and the oil that's going to get removed from the filter. And we'll just inspect it here, and it looks like we've gotten all the old oil out and all of the debris out. And so now we're going to have to let this dry. And this is why I decided to do this a little early in the summer. I could just let this sit outside in my backyard and dry out. It's about 95 degrees. So that shouldn't be an issue. Now, I used the S&B website to kind of determine how much oil I was going to need to recharge the filter. I just used the link to the replacement filter, and in there under the specifications it tells you how many fluid ounces of the recharge oil that you'll need to put back in there. So S&B provides you with this the oil and like a small container here that's got the ounces marked on the right hand side or on the side of it. So we're just going to fill this up with the proper amount of oil to use. So for my particular filter here, we've got 8.5 ounces of the oil. And you can see what's left in the bottle. There's plenty to do the filter at least 2 or 3 more times. Now the method I'm going to use to recharge the filter is I'm going to go about every ½ inch up away from the bottom of the top of the flange here. As the oil sinks into the filter, it's going to spread out. So we'll just speed up this process here, and you'll see I'm just going to make about 4 rings around the filter here, and we'll check on it here in a few minutes and see how that has spread throughout the filter. So after making about 4 or 5 complete rounds, I've got about 2.5 ounces left in the bottle. I'm going to save that to just clear up any light spots. But they recommend letting the filter sit on the flange here and let that oil soak in for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And so we'll come back here in a few minutes and check on it. Okay, you can see that's soaked in pretty evenly here. And looks like there's a couple of little light spots here. I'm just going to use the remainder of the oil, and then I'm just going to hold it up to the light here and make sure I can see light through the filter. Make sure I've got it cleaned out pretty well, and it's looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to put on the remainder of the oil here, since that's the amount that they recommend using. And I'm just going to try and fill in some of those light spots and just catch some of the other spots that I may have missed. So we let that filter sit for another 20 minutes, and it seems to be looking pretty good. So we're going to get it back in the truck here. So we're just going to tilt the filter to get it back inside the airbox. And we're just going to make sure that we've got that screw connector for the hose clamp at the top of the filter. I needed to use both hands to pop that on, so I set the camera down, and then we're just going to tighten that hose clamp. And then afterwards, we're going to do another quick visual inspection of the airbox and make sure nothing's fallen down in there. Now all that's left is to get those screws back in. Speed this video up as well here. And we've cleaned up the top piece of plexiglass too, so that we can see inside. But that's all there is to it, guys. Now the only thing you need to make sure of is that you don't need to use your vehicle for the 24 hours or so that this is going to take to do. It did take almost a full day for that filter to dry out in the sun even. So 2 days later, here we are, or actually 1 day later, here we are, and we've got the clean filter back in there, and it looks pretty good. Truck's looking good, and I think it does help a little bit with the airflow, but I wouldn't say it's a significant amount of difference. It does help with the engine sound a little bit too, but this is not really a necessary upgrade for your Toyota Tundra. The engine naturally draws air in from the wheel well there. It's got its own cold air intake. So that's it, guys. That's replacing the filter there. So all the links are in the description, and appreciate you watching and subscribing to the channel. Thank you.